Welcome back. If you thought this morning was going to be quiet, if you thought we were just waiting for another cycle of standard political noise, then you are woefully unprepared for what is happening right now on the platform that controls so much of our reality. We have a timeline here that moves from immediate, terrifying geopolitical threats to domestic election claims, all delivered with such moral urgency and absolute certainty by one man that it makes your head spin. It demands we look at every single thread he posted today because they are not isolated incidents. They are a strategy. They are a pattern of escalation wrapped in celebration, designed to keep the base terrified yet euphoric, locked into this narrative that only chaos can be solved with more force. Let's start where it began, and I mean really started, because you cannot ignore the tone set by the very first words he typed. He writes, from this point forward, anytime the Islamic Republic of Iran shoots at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, whether it be by missile, rocket, drone, or any other device or weapon, the United States will bomb and destroy one bridge or power plant, including those located next to or in the capital city of Tehran. Stop. Just stop right there and let that sink into your mind for a second. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He signs off as President Donald J. Trump. Do you hear what is happening here? This isn't just a policy statement. It is a declaration of targeted, indiscriminate escalation against civilian infrastructure in the capital city of another sovereign nation. He says, one bridge or power plant. That implies a direct retaliation where he chooses to destroy energy grids or transportation arteries that sustain some number of people in Tehran itself if there is even an attempt at defense by Iran near Hormuz. The moral recklessness of this posture is staggering. It frames the United States as having no patience for nuance, only a binary trigger. They shoot something, we bomb their capital's infrastructure. And he posts it with that exclamation point, almost like he's proud to be issuing a threat against power plants in Tehran. And look at where this sits alongside everything else happening today. While the world is reeling from the prospect of bridges and power plants being targeted in Iran, his attention immediately pivots inward, celebrating what he calls a complete sweep in Arizona. He posts, MAGA candidates won everything last night in Arizona. I won Arizona 18 months ago. The DUMOCRATS are dumbfounded. He is framing the entire political landscape as a binary victory for his movement, claiming that after decades of struggle, Arizona is becoming a Republican state. He says this with such finality. Congratulations to all, but you have to look at how he constructs these victories. It is not just about winning, it's about the narrative that everyone else is confused by him. The Democrats are, in his words, dumbfounded. That word choice, it dehumanizes the opposition, painting them as slow-witted victims of a sudden shift they cannot comprehend. He follows this up with images he posted to cement these claims visually. Look at what he shared. Campaign-style graphics announcing that Andy Biggs has won as the Republican nominee for governor of Arizona. These aren't subtle announcements. They are bold, high-contrast visuals. The text in white screams ANDYBIGGS wins, against a background shifting from blue to red, symbolizing this supposed takeover. He puts his own headshot next to Andy Biggs, both looking forward with that serious expression he favors, wearing the dark suit and tie. Below them is the logo reading Trump VANCE, flanked by stars, with the slogan Make America Great Again centered beneath it. And right there in a red banner, endorsed by President Trump. It's not enough to just win, he has to be visually present at every victory, his face looming over these candidates as if their success is solely an extension of him. He posts another image for Paul Gosar, showing Trump on the left with a serious expression and Gosar smiling in a dark suit with a lapel pin. The text declares Congressman, a Z-9, PAULGOSAR wins, again with that red banner stating, endorsed by President Trump. It's a visual drumbeat of dominance. He does the same for Juan Ciscomani, posting an image where he stands next to Ciscomani against another blue-to-red gradient. The text reads, Congressman a Z-6, JUANCISUMANI wins, with the endorsement banner and the Trump Vance logo below it. And then Jay Feely, the Republican nominee for a Z-1. Another graphic of him next to Trump in a red suit or blue tie depending on how you look at them, declaring JFELYWINS. Every single image is designed to reinforce one truth, that these wins are his endorsements coming true. But then he pivots back to the darkness, the fear-mongering that seems necessary to justify all this power. He shouts about a crooked election system, Save America, and immediately links an article with the headline: State Motor Vehicle System registers 66 non-citizens vote New Jersey. He is using this shared link to amplify the claim that some number of foreigners are voting, specifically citing New Jersey. He says a governor was forced to admit it after Democrats claimed there was no problem. The scale he presents here, one headline claiming some number, feeds directly into his narrative of an election system so broken it needs saving by force or radical overhaul. You have to see the connection. If you believe bridges in Tehran are about to be bombed and that a complete sweep happened in Arizona because of him, then naturally, the only thing stopping this crooked election system is more aggressive action. And where does he go after threatening Iran's power plants? He heads out. He posts, heading to Dover Air Force Base to honor our heroes. The juxtaposition here is breathtakingly cynical one moment and performative patriotism the next. From a threat of war against civilians in Tehran, straight to honoring fallen soldiers at Dover. It's designed to blur the lines between aggression abroad and reverence for service at home. He doubles down on Arizona again, specifically targeting Andy Biggs's upcoming general election opponent. He writes, must now defeat a radical left Democrat, one of the worst governors in the country, Katie Hobbs. Look at that language. She is not just an opponent, she is labeled weak on crime and explicitly accused of being strong on raising taxes. It's a caricature he paints to set up Biggs as the savior. He says, go Andy, go. He also takes time to thank Scott Prisler for voter registration work, calling it a big night for MAGA in Arizona. All wins, and then moves into media praise. He gushes over Roma Deravi as being great on Fox News last night, along with Tiffany Brannan. He calls Trace Gallagher an amazing news anchor, one of the very best, and tells everyone to get his new book. It is a closed loop of information. Threaten enemies abroad, celebrate domestic wins that are framed as total sweeps, attack opponents by calling them radical leftists who raise taxes or allow foreign voting, praise only those media figures who echo this worldview. And while all these posts were flying out, threats against Tehran's bridges and power plants, declarations of a complete sweep in Arizona, claims about New Jersey voters, the markets reacted. We saw X BTC/USD move. We saw X ETH/USD move repeatedly throughout the day. The volatility was real. The crypto market swung back and forth as these posts hit the feed. Did it go up? Did it crash? It doesn't matter in this moment what direction they took, because the movement itself is a reaction to the sheer instability of his rhetoric. When you post that bridges and power plants are targets for war, when you claim an election system is crooked based on a headline about non-citizen voting, markets do not stand still. They whipsawed, they were choppy. The uncertainty was palpable. Think about the timing of it all. First comes the threat to bomb infrastructure in Tehran if Iran fires anything at ships. Then immediately after, he's celebrating his sweep in Arizona with graphics featuring his face next to every winner. Then he pivots to New Jersey and a claim that some number voted illegally. It is an assault on reality designed to keep people off balance. You cannot process the threat of war against power plants while simultaneously trying to celebrate a complete sweep in midterms, but that is exactly what this timeline demands. He connects these threads by implying that his strength abroad and his dominance at home are two sides of the same coin, an America saved only through forceful intervention. The bridge bombing threat isn't just policy. It's a signal to the domestic base that he will do whatever it takes, including destroying civilian infrastructure in foreign capitals, while simultaneously cleaning up what he calls a crooked election system here at home. And look closely at how he describes these Arizona wins again. He says, a crooked election system, save America, right before sharing that link about New Jersey voters. It is the bridge between his domestic claims and his foreign threats. The system is crooked, so we need to save America by crushing our enemies abroad with missile strikes on bridges and power plants in Tehran. The images he posted are not incidental. They are part of this narrative architecture. The Trump VANCE logo appearing under every single name, Biggs, Gossar, Siskamani, Feely, makes it clear that these aren't independent victories for local candidates. They are extensions of his personal brand. He is telling us that without him, none of them win. And yet, while he celebrates this complete sweep and calls the Democrats dumbfounded, we have to ask ourselves, what kind of world does he think we live in? A world where you threaten to bomb a power plant next to Tehran as if it were a video game mechanic. Anytime, shoots at a ship. United States will bomb. It removes all discretion. All diplomacy, replacing human judgment with an automated threat. The markets knew something was wrong too. The repeated movements in Bitcoin and Ethereum throughout the day suggest that investors are watching this feed closely, reacting to every word he types about war or election fraud. They don't know where it's going next either, because he has made sure there is no middle ground here, only absolute victory or total destruction. So we sit with this, a president threatening bridges and power plants in the capital of Iran, celebrating a sweep in Arizona by calling opponents dumbfounded, linking to headlines about non-citizen voting in New Jersey, honoring heroes at Dover Air Force Base. All within hours of each other. It is a masterclass in creating chaos while claiming order. He says, after decades, Arizona is becoming a Republican state. And he signs off with, "Thank you for your attention to this matter," on the Iran threat as if it's just another Tuesday notice. But the timing of these posts, the way they pile up, is intentional. It is meant to overwhelm, to distract from one story by launching into another that demands equal emotional weight. You have a bridge in Tehran potentially being bombed for firing at ships. You have Andy Biggs winning against Katie Hobbs, who he claims raises taxes and ignores crime. You have 66-0 non-citizens allegedly voting in New Jersey. And through all of it, the markets are swinging wildly, unable to find footing while a single man dictates the temperature of global fear. This is not just news. This is a performance of power that relies on us being too busy reacting to one thread to think about what he said 10 minutes ago. He wants you scared for your life regarding Iran, and then immediately happy about Arizona, so you don't notice how dangerous both postures actually are. That's the show. We're on Spotify and YouTube if this earned it, like subscribe, tell a friend. And housekeeping, the machine that writes this gets tuned constantly for cleaner news. The numbers are real, the jokes are not.